My name is Reverend Victoria Bett, and I am the widow of the chairman of IMO, the late James Bett. So His Excellency the Deputy President was one of us at the university, and they were friends with James. When I met James, he was already a friend of his, so they were a group of friends who came from Uasin Gishu district and studying at the university. And so we had this colorful wedding, and we had all the friends who were with us at the university joining us for the wedding. And we did it at AIC Leseru. Reverend Mutai is the one who presided. Reverend Mutai of Kijabe is the one who presided the wedding. And one of the friends who was with us is His Excellency the Deputy President. He was our best man in our wedding. Starting life, we were close friends, and even as we got our children, we were visiting each other for the birthdays and those kind of things. And even when Mheshimiwa started his interest into politics, we were supporting him in whichever way. Like our printing company, the Scientific Media Services, was really doing his printing of posters and t-shirts and stuff, as he began to campaign for his first position as the Member of Parliament for Eldoret North, which is where we live. Well, interesting enough, we were really friends starting from university, and we used to be together in the Christian Union focus groups, and so from there, as we began life, there were friends, these men who wanted to get into business, because of not enough jobs in the market. And I remember that they had to go and visit the late President Moi and say, we are a group of 10 young men and we want to start business. And I know that the first time they approached him, they were not really taken in, but they persisted, and at some point he was able to help them with some amount to go and start business, as young people who are enthusiastic and entrepreneur. So when they wrote their proposal and approached His Excellency the late President Moi, he was kind enough eventually to give them something to start their business. And they started a simple business of car hiring, and eventually got into some insurance company, Berke, and so on and so forth. They were able to start this business for car hiring, and also the insurance. Because of the car hiring, there was a need to have an insurance company, and so they began a company called Berke Insurance. So that was the beginning, really, of our business life. James and His Excellency William Ruto and other friends, who now were just jumping into business. So that's really basically it wasn't like they were starting down on eggs and chicken and and mandazi, like sometimes. There was nothing like chicken selling, or egg selling. No. We were starting in a credible way, I would say, as graduates. I used to call him, and I still call him Bamuru, which means like brother-in-law, because they were good friends. For example, William, I wouldn't say his name like William, or Kipchirchi Ruto. No, I would say Bamuru. That was, the name I would call him. And so many, the others also. None of them was I even referring to them by name, because they were close. These were friends, and to me, it was just respectful to refer to them by that name, Bamuru. William in college was William Kipchirchi Ruto, and actually up to the time he was a Minister of Agriculture, he was William Kipchirchi Ruto. And to be honest, up to today, I don't even understand where Samoei came from, personally, because I know his dad and his few relatives, none of them is called Samoei. Samoei is probably a nickname he picked, and I want to believe because we had a leader among the Kalenjin called Koitalel Arap Samoei, and he just loved that name and added to his names. Almost all of us were getting married about the same time, so I was there in William's wedding, they were there in our wedding, so we were crisscrossing and everybody was having a wedding. about the same time. Some of the things that William was engaging himself in was making my husband very uncomfortable, and also making me very uncomfortable. These kind of things were involving like late night kind of meetings, and traveling to Nakuru, to Mombasa, so impromptu kind of meetings, and it involved eventually to making of some money, which we learned through YK92, which was very not like the principles that we knew as Christians are right. So the person who would tell us a bit of that story would be Rachel, because I know she used to really cry over this and say, it's why would somebody just disappear? He's not coming home. He was doing his deals in the night, and he would be traveling and not showing up, back at home, and those kind of things. So being uncomfortable with that kind of life, we decided we were going to just move on. And I recall one time when they were invited, both Mheshimiwa Ruto and my husband James were invited for a conference that was organized in the United States of America in North Carolina. And when they were there together, Mheshimiwa actually threatened him. He said, if you're not going to involve me in this thing, it's going to be bad. And so when James came back home, we talked about it, and I told him it's good to involve the authorities. And we did, he did actually report 3 times incidences. One of it was that he was followed when he was coming home, right to our gate, and that car that followed him, we had 2 gates. So the first gate where the askari was, that car managed to get through. And just when he was getting to the gate of the house, then the other car pulled back. And unfortunately, we were not able to follow that story through. It's something I would like investigated as well.